force is necessary, there it shall be applied boldly, decisively, and completely.
You're right about that, Judge.
Oh. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, Conan. Something funny?
No. I was just talking about Walker, Texas Ranger, that's all. It was a great show.
Here. Now, what you're doing is breaking his balance. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to pull down as hard as you can with the left and push with the right. Hard. Oh! There you go. Right in.
You know, they say Chuck Norris is so tough, there's no chin under his beard. There is only another fist.
That's ridiculous. Chuck Norris?
Hey, Chuck!
You owe me a look.
There are 10 million people in the world of Warcraft because Chuck Norris allows them to live. I'm Chuck Norris, and I approve this game. World of Warcraft.
Oh my God, that was so cool! Me and Chuck Norris fighting back to back, that was unbelievable!
You know, Norris, I've always wanted to see how good you really are.
You're only gonna see it once, Stone.
Yeah.
You are watching Mad Men Cafe Live, only on Q2 Cast TV.
Welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Madman Cafe live, high atop the fortress of the cafe, right here on Staten Island, New York. Those of you who are just now coming over from Sci-Fi for Me TV, welcome also. Thank you for coming aboard. Those of you on Rumble and also on X as well, welcome aboard. We're about to take part in the career of one of the great of the last Hollywood's last action heroes. That's right. We're going to be talking about Chuck Norris today. And so far, joining me today, hopefully we'll have others to join us as one of our regular panelists. Hang on. Whoa, I can't even click on this right. There we go. Sci-Fi Snob's joining us. Hey, Snob.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh, what an interesting day it is. Besides that, Star Trek Academy got canceled, which everybody online is crying about at this moment. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some great content. We're going to talk about some great action. You know, we're going to celebrate a man that now is a true legend, that even people still to this day said he hasn't died. He's just sleeping.
And I never thought this day would come. I thought he would definitely. I mean, it's Chuck Norris. He would live forever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has done so much in his career. I mean, if you go through his wiki alone, guy was in the military. He trained Hollywood actors in many of these films, along with Bruce Lee. Him and Bruce Lee, work together, in Hollywood, training a lot of these people to do to do karate movements in a lot of the big stream movies of all time. And most people don't realize that on there. In fact, I have one little surprise that, before Way of the Dragon, Chuck was in a movie, aside a special that he did a while back. Most people don't realize he's in the movie. And if you ever seen this series of films, but we'll keep that for a little bit later on there. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We really would appreciate it. Hit that like, share, of course, our videos, our live streams to your friends, to your enemies, Chuck Norris fans. Hey, listen, send it out all over the web on there. Also, don't forget, be sure to support our affiliate partners like Snob right next to me here, and many others, which is in the description below to their channels. Be able to click on and go right to their channels. They got some great content out there on a daily basis as well. And also, if you want to help support us beyond the subscription on there, the live streams do have subscriptions, super chats. Even afterwards, there's the thanks you can put onto this channel. And down below in the description, and we linked up a lot of our product from our gear shop over on shopcuticast.com. We got some great t-shirts, great mugs, a lot of great stuff on there that you can pick and choose. And hey, listen, if you have a friend who likes anime, we got some anime t-shirts. We got some, if you're against censorship, we got anti-censorship t-shirts as well. All that great stuff on there. So be sure, check them out. Wow. I mean, this weekend was a rough weekend. We lost a lot of people. A lot of people, in Hollywood. We just lost Miss Tessmacher from Superman.
They're dropping like flies. Is there something in the water?
I don't know. I mean, we lost the creator of the Max and Sandman, the voice actress to the original one of my favorite animes, Galaxy Express 39, Maytel. I mean, there's so many people that have passed away over the weekend. I mean, Chuck was the one that hit us the most. It was like Chuck, then Nicholas from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and and then it just started progressing heavy at that point. It just didn't know where it was going to stop.
If I was a conspiracy theorist, and I am, I'd say, I don't know. Something's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you know, yeah, and I'm gonna bring this up first. You know, the worst part about it is with a lot of these celebrities dying on it, they're gonna be those people online that are just gonna freaking just kick dirt on these celebrities. And they're just gonna just, insult them when they didn't insult them before when they were alive. They went to their movies, paid their tickets and stuff like that, didn't complain on there. But once they died, it's time to bash them for their beliefs, their religious beliefs, or their political beliefs, or things they've done to help the community, or anything to that nature. I mean, I caught a piece of this off of Variety. Chuck Norris was a great action star, but his politics may have overshadowed his legacy. Really? Whoever
Well, I mean, look, William Earl would never say that when he was still alive, because you know what happened to him. Chuck would take a piece out of him.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a coward.
this guy, obviously, he either just breezed through a Chuck Norris movie, or has never watched a single movie or TV or any of his TV series, or the TV series that he was on. I mean,
I bet that's not even his real name.
I bet too. I bet too. To that point on there, and it's it just gets me. It just gets me when I see stuff like that. And it's still happening today. It's the same thing with the Star Trek Academy. People say, "Oh my God, it's been canceled." All you people that have complained about it, look what you've done. I said, "We didn't complain about it. We didn't like it. It's our mission. It's our mission that we admitted that we didn't like the show. And of course, if it got canceled, ain't our fault. You didn't watch it." And there are people out there that said, "Well, I didn't watch it, but what it got canceled." I'm like, "Oh, come on, really?"
I mean, we watched it. We had to.
We watch it. We watched it. We
Criticize
weren't
it.
fans of it.
We did more than they did.
Yeah, exactly.
We at least watched the show.
Exactly. Excuse me. Ooh, I've been tussling around with allergies the last 2 weeks. But hey, listen. I grew up watching Chuck Norris. The stuff from Golden Harvest. Most people that they look at, they said, "Oh, they know some of the films on there, but they don't know the early stuff, the real, truly early stuff." I mean, obviously, of course, we know of Way of the Dragon, which is AKA Return of the Dragon, I think it was called. Yeah, Return of the Dragon, it was called on there. And that was Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris in the film. In fact, I watched it last night. For those of you who haven't seen this, you can go over to YouTube right now. It's free on YouTube with commercials. So if you haven't seen this movie, it is a great film. I mean, I love this particular scene that you see here. The camera shots are excellent on this. Let me bring this up a little bit more here. Yeah, in fact, Bruce Lee directed this. He directed this film directly. And this particular scene, have you seen this one, Snob, yet?
It's been a long time, right?
Okay.
I was watching these as a teenager and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I've seen clips from it from sure. I don't know if I've seen the entire movie though.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the end scene. This is the end scene. It takes place in Rome. Obviously, this is in the Colosseum. This is a fight in the Colosseum that they do. Basically, the camera shot. I don't know whose idea was it, or to the thing that's in there. Basically, there was a kitten in the shot while they were fighting. And if you ever see Sergio Leone's Good, Bad, and the Ugly and all that, and there's an end part where they're in their final stage of the fight, and they do this focus in, focus out on Bruce. They focus in, focus out on Chuck, and then they do a focus in, focus out on the cat.
Oh yeah. I understand. I guess Rome is full of cats, like stray cats.
Yeah.
Especially around this area, the Colosseum area, probably.
Yeah, and I just laughed because it was this is a great fight, and it's the cat's in there, and the cat's looking at the camera. He's straight at the camera. It's meow, but it's a great fight. I mean, this whole the entire film itself. It is. I mean, Chuck is only 2 major scenes in the entire film. Oh, actually 3. His arrival on the plane, when he goes to the boss's office, and then, then the final fight scene. So he's not throughout the entire film. Which is it happens to be depending on which karate champion it is. I mean, if you're not Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Don Wei or some of these others, sometimes you just got that little part. You might be the villain, which Chuck did a couple of these as villains, which I'll be talking about that next on the next
Yeah,
film.
this is really a Bruce Lee movie, right? So.
Yeah, it's really a Bruce Lee movie. It's really a Bruce Lee movie, and like I said, it is a really good film. If you haven't caught this yet, catch it right now before I think probably YouTube tends to change their free movies monthly, so you probably have another week to catch this free because I think mostly this is only one of the only places you can watch it free. It's very hard. It's very hard to see it on any other stream.
Really?
Surprisingly,
It's
not
like
on
that?
Tubi.
Really? Wow.
Surprisingly, it's not on Tubi, and Tubi has a lot of action films, a lot of martial art films, including this next film. This film is from Golden Harvest also. If you're not familiar with Golden Harvest is one of the next to the Shaw brothers in martial arts in Hong Kong karate. So you had the Shaw brothers, you had Golden Harvest, and there was like 2 other companies on there. Golden Harvest was always like if you ever grew up in the 70s and early 80s, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Kung Fu Theater, most of them were Golden Harvest films. And the company I used to work for, I worked with Saturn Productions. Saturn was a company that put out the stuff from Golden Harvest into the U.S. on VHS. On there, not great, not the greatest quality in the world, really bad. But it looks like they remastered this particular one because it's available on Tubi for free. You can watch it on YouTube on Shout TV, but I would recommend going to Tubi because a lot of stuff that Shout has been putting up on YouTube has been censored. In other words, they've censored a lot of the blood, the gore, the violence, nudity. They've done a lot of that on there as of late. So best places on it. And then the name of it, actually it has 2 names on there. The basis that you can see it now, it's Slaughter in San Francisco, but the original title from China, it was Yellow-Faced Tiger. And it was directed by the great Lo Wei, who also did a lot of the Bruce Lee films. Like he did The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and he also he directed Jackie Chan in the new Fist of Fury. And it also starred Chuck is not the way they have this looking, that Chuck is the main character in this film. This is the way it's been promoted in the last 2 decades. So if you ever bought the DVD version or anything like that, Chuck is always on the front, like this particular picture. He's on the front. But the gentleman in the back is Wong Tao, which, if you're not familiar with his films, he's done a ton of the Golden Harvest films. Eagle Tiger Fists, and I can go through a slew. I mean, he's been like in practically almost every other Golden Harvest film, either as the main character or a back character. You'll always find him in a Golden Harvest film.
Okay, so now these Golden Harvest films, are these the ones, the sort of the Hong Kong martial arts films that we came out a lot in the maybe late 60s, early 70s, 80s?
Yeah,
they are sort of they're the ones with that we would get on North American television, and they'd be poorly dubbed.
Oh yeah,
and
this is poorly. This is not even Chuck's voice in this. Chuck is Chuck. What is it? Way of the Dragon and Slaughter in San Francisco. Chuck's voice his original voice is not heard. It's a dub.
So it's all, and usually sometimes they'll have a bit of a fantastical element. Guys will jump, and they'll jump really far, and I mean not always, but yeah. Okay, so these are I had a friend of mine who was into martial arts when we were growing up, and he was he was watching these movies all the time and forcing us to watch them. It'll be on like Friday, Saturday night at 2 o'clock in the morning or something.
Oh yeah, these
I
are
mean, there were some
great.
pretty cool martial arts
Oh
moves in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but the storyline and everything was just
Yeah, I
very,
know.
very
This is
bad.
insane. This storyline is insane, and it just goes in just oh my god in about 900 directions. That this the storyline on this. This it is shot in San Francisco. That's the one thing it is. This is not like they shot it in Hong Kong and calling it San Francisco or Canada. Uh, you know, basically they shot this in San Francisco because you could tell by the streets, by the houses, and everything like that. It was done there. But the main premise is that it's the main character Wong Tao. He's a cop, San Francisco cop with his partner. They're newly on patrol and everything, patrolling around. Norris plays like a crime boss, a drug crime boss that has this big gang on there. You don't see him much in this. I think about you got to get through halfway the movie. Like he gets like one or two scenes early on, and then you get through halfway the movie, then you catch him at the end, toward the end onto this point. There's like an epic. If you saw if you're just joining us now, if you didn't see the opening, you can go back and watch the opening. There is a small little clip in there where they're both fighting, and it's a really good fight scene. It is a fantastic fight scene between Chuck and him, and it goes back and forth really well. But like I said, the story, it's corruption, drugs, bank robberies. His partner gets killed by a gang of Chinese mercenaries. He's beaten up badly. And it just goes back and forth. But it's a really good film. Like I said, it's in China. It's called Yellow-Faced Tiger. Now, if they're still doing this on the DVD versions of it, there are two versions of it, and oops, I thought I turned off my phone. Sorry about that. Uh, Basically, the Yellow-Faced Tiger. It's in Chinese. There might be like an extra scene or two they may have cut out for the English dub version, but it's not much. There is nudity involved in there, not much at all, but there is nudity. But there's a lot of fighting in this. A lot of like one guy versus like 20 guys. That type of situation. But like I said, it is on there. Also, Sylvia Chang stars in it too. If you're not familiar with her, Taiwanese actress, she's done a lot as well. When you see her face, you're like, hey, wait a minute, I recognize her. I've seen her in a lot. Now,
Mhm.
I have to bring this up. Now,
Okay,
before we,
maybe before you do, maybe I should ask a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Now, I don't. This might not be related, but I just wanted to know if you knew. Did you know why Chuck Norris crossed the road?
Oh, here we go. Why did Chuck Norris cross the road?
He didn't. The road moved out of his way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're starting early already. Oh, my word on that. But I want to bring this
Sorry,
up.
sorry. Go, please
No, it's
carry on.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. I heard a lot of them this weekend. Oh, by the way, did you get the video I sent you about death and Chuck Norris?
I
I
don't
didn't I didn't get a
think
chance to
so.
upload it. We may upload it next
Hmm.
week in there. I put it in the Discord. It's really funny. It's the let me see, the content creator, his name is, if I can find it. Where are we here? Okay, there's yours. Uh Sammy V, or Sammy Van Fossen. He's on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. If you get a
Oh,
chance,
right. Yeah.
yeah, he has a little thing called Death Notes, and it's really funny bits where he plays death, at the gates, and people will pop in, and he has this woman that's his partner, which is he plays also the same character, and the woman comes in. So what happened? And he was like, "Oh, Chuck Norris came in." He's like, "Chuck Norris died." He said, "Yeah, he beat me up." It's a funny bit. It's a really really funny bit on that. So do catch that if you watch his channel. We'll try to show it next week. I didn't get a chance to upload it this week on there. So there is something. Let me see if I can find it here. Yes, here we go. Now, before um, Way of the Dragon, and where is it on my screen here? Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I'm just playing around with a new screen here. Uh, Oh, here we go. Sorry, I had it first. Um, because most of his stuff is in the 70s, but because he was a trainer in Hollywood, uh, uh, who was it that had told him that? Oh, it was Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen told him he should get into movies. That his skill was very good. That basically he had. Let me see his black belts was in karate, taekwondo, tang sangdu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and judo. So he had all those styles. Now, would you believe, Snob, that you've heard of Dean Martin, right?
Sorry, who? Dean Martin?
Dean Martin.
Yeah, I think I heard of that guy.
Okay. Well, did you know Chuck Norris and Dean Martin tasseled in a movie together?
I did not know.
Okay.
I'm betting Dean Martin won.
Yep. Dean Martin, basically, let me bring it up here. There was a movie called the Van Helm series, which is really good. If you have not seen the Van Helm series, it's sort of a take on James Bond, but from an American point version. Dean plays the cad, the drinker, the guy that gets always the girls on there. He did a movie called Wrecking Crew, which starred, um, of course, him, Elkie Summer, Sharon Tate, Nancy Kwan, and Tina Louise starred in this movie. But also, someone else who was in this film, basically as a bad guy, was Chuck. Chuck was a henchman in the movie The Wrecking Crew. And there was
Chuck.
someone else on the set who also helped as an action instructor. And of course, it is the great Bruce Lee. So Chuck and Bruce both worked on the movie The Wrecking Crew. Even though Bruce is not in the movie, but he helped along. There was some great martial arts scenes with Nancy Kwan and Sharon Tate. It's a great fight scene in that movie. If you haven't, I think it's still on Tubi TV. In fact, I think all 4 movies are on Tubi on there. But basically, hey, listen, we got the best of everything here. A little Dean Martin, a little Sharon Tate, Nancy Kwan, and of course, a little Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. I mean, this is one that most people don't realize it happened, and it happened before Chuck's career got underway. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, the guys who get beat up in these movies are always better at fighting than the guys who beat them up.
Oh yeah, most of the time, like a perfect example. If you watch Kill Bill or any of those other films, most of the main action guys that are the stunt coordinators, the fight coordinators are part of the henchmen in the background. And
yeah.
And I wish they do like what they do with a lot of the Asian flicks, like from Thailand, from Hong Kong, and all that. As of late, show the behind the scenes on a lot of this stuff. I mean, some of them do on these action movies, but not a lot of them. Like you've seen a Jackie Chan movie. You always see like the basically the stuff that gets cut out from the film.
Yeah, the million times they failed on the stunt before.
Yeah, or Jackie Chan breaks his leg, breaks his arm, or something to that nature. There's a movie called Chocolat. It's out of I believe Thailand, and they spent 5 minutes showing how many people got hurt on the set, and it is just when you see it, it is just painful to see it. I mean, guys are falling off buildings. Like they're supposed to be fight on the side of a building, and on the ledge is like thin, and basically they're doing karate fighting, and then guys are falling off and breaking their legs. Guys are going to hospital left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me ask another question.
Go ahead.
Do you know what happens when Chuck Norris does a push-up?
What does he do when it, what happens
He
when he does the push-up?
he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the earth down. I don't know. I don't know if you knew that, but
Oh no. Oh, they're just getting about as bad as the Top Lofty Lounge stuff. You're making up for Top Lofty the last episode, didn't you?
Chuck, Chuck never uses a GPS.
Why?
He decides where he is, and the world complies.
Oh no.
Did you know that? No, you probably
No, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Now, most people, as major Chuck Norris fans, will know this particular film. And from a technical aspect, this is the first besides Wrecking Crew. This would be the first really true film that made his real break in the industry itself. In fact, talk about break. The movie is called Breaker Breaker. Now, Breaker Breaker it's almost can be almost a take on the Golden Harvest movies in a way as far as plot lines. Basically, it stars Chuck Norris, George Murdoch, Terry O'Connor, and Michael Augustine, and it is directed by Don, and it was written by Terry Chambers. And the movie is basically Chuck plays a truck driver and who's on the road all the time. He comes back to his home base, and his brother is about to go on his first actual run on his own. Basically, same thing that's going on is there is a small town that just been newly formed called Texas City, California. And it has become a sort of a speed trap for people passing by that the judge played by is it George Murdoch. He has his police department pull them over, drag them to the city, and they basically pilfer them from all their money and things, and either send them on the way. I'm sorry again. I don't know why this is not taking. Hang on a minute.
I mean, that's just great. Don't muck around with an 18-wheel trucker.
Yeah, that's the plot of it. That is the plot of it. But what happened was his brother disappears. So Chuck goes to investigate it and gets into, a big tussle with the entire town. And there's some great fight scenes in this. You saw if you saw the very first minutes of the tribute video. That is from the scene. That's George Murdoch as the judge on there, and him in the courtroom, and he takes on the entire courtroom and lays them flat. It's a great movie. This is also available on Tubi. I believe it's available free on YouTube. Also, it used to be free. I'm not certain. It's definitely free on Tubi TV. It is a good one to watch. Like I said, it's very young Chuck Norris, starting out. Most people when they tell you, it's like, if you've never been in Chuck Norris, you've never seen the Chuck Norris movie, go see Breaker Breaker. They always say, go see Breaker Breaker. It's this is where you start. That's your starting point. Then you can go to Way of the Dragon. They say, to that point. Now, moving on a little bit, there is another one that he did. Jennifer O'Neill, Ron O'Neill, Clu Gallagher, James Whitmore Jr. all start together with Chuck Norris in a movie called The Force of One. Force of One is the one that, if you're familiar with the VHS era, if you went to the video store and you saw this, and this was the cover, most people would rent this immediately because they see like Force of One. What is this? What is this? It's some superpower or something like that. No, the main premise on this is Chuck plays a martial karate champion, and basically Matt Logan, and he's hired to assist with a narcotics police unit where several cops have been murdered. And the force of the murder, it's the larynx has been crushed in a certain way without any fingerprints or any marks or anything of that nature, which
Oh,
leads them to
nasty.
believe that is someone with a martial arts skill. And hey, PB, how you doing? Let me bring PB up here a second. Yeah, yeah. Oh, there we go. How you doing today? Thank you for joining us today. But yeah, basically he investigates it, teams up with Jennifer O'Neill, and it it gets big on there. Of course, like I said, Ron O'Neill's in this. Uh, Came out by an old company called America Leasing, which is no longer around, which is now I think MGM got this together. There's some great fights, but the one major fights that are in this is because he's a karate martial artist. He's a competitor in this movie. So there are scenes where he is in the ring. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Hang on a minute. I just want to go through there. Oh, yes. It's William Lewis Wallace, who's AKA Superfoot, is in this movie. And basically he is in Chuck Norris in the ring, it's really good. And then it kind of moves to the streets from there on. And it's a really good one. It's the script plot is okay. It's not the greatest in the world. A lot of these movies they're not. I mean, when he gets into the Golden Globus stuff, a lot of his stuff gets like the scripts are much better into that. But it's the action that catches you with Chuck. He don't mess around. And the thing is that he gets in there and he's focused on his abilities on that as well. So, you got that. Now, getting into the next one. This one
Well, let me just ask a question first.
sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you know anything about how Chuck Norris makes a sandwich?
How does Chuck Norris make a sandwich?
He stares at the bread until it obeys.
Oh, geez.
If you didn't know that.
No, I did not know that. Oh, wah, wah, wah. I gotta get that. I have to get that on my soundboard. I don't have that on my soundboard on there. Let me see if I have something better here. Hang on. That's the best I can do. Okay, moving on. He did a movie. This is 73. And Ann Archer, Loy Haynes, Dana Andrews, Jim Backus, and right out of Planet of the Apes, James Franciscus is in this. And that's Good Guys Wear Black. Which is, has to be one of the most insane fight scenes in this movie. Chuck jumps into the windshield of a car. I mean, literally. The scene is just, he just runs into the car and just boom. That's it. The main premise on it, it's United States Senator Conrad Morgan is negotiating the end of the Vietnam War. He's made a deal in Paris. The deals call for certain CIA POWs to be exchanged. And then an elite group of CIA assassins known as Black Tigers are setting up a death trap. And it just turns into a point where basically they're trying to go after Chuck. As usual. Everybody's always going after Chuck.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Good Guys doesn't come up too often. And I don't know why. It is a good intrigue movie. It has a great cast in there. It used to come up often back in the day. And I know when I used to work in the video store, that I used to work at, manage it, it happened to be one besides Force of One. This one happened to be the other one that really rented out all the time. to that point. And yeah, it is a good movie. It strengthened Chuck's basically his the films that are going to come from here on end, because from here on, this is where it really ramps up on his career. And
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but I think this is the time where he's at a crossroads in his life. He's deciding whether to do, competitive, fighting leagues, that kind of stuff, or go movies.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and I
I mean, he
think
does a little both.
yeah,
He
but
does both. In
but this
fact,
kind of makes the big transition. He's like, you can't do both, right? So much, like, perfectly,
not
right? So
perfectly,
he
but
decides to
as
go
soon as you got into
with
the
movie.
'80s with him, in as far as his films, and this is the Cannon era, the Golden Globus era, you know, the videos going to right to direct to VHS and all that. He has a slew here that they're just fantastic films. Some of them hard to get on streaming or basically on DVD or Blu-ray. They need to be remastered. A lot of these need to be remastered. There are some, and I know there was like a set of 5 of his films were available on Amazon for like $35, and they were Blu-rays, and they were all good films. I think it was like The Mission in Action was in there. Not Force Vengeance. There's a couple others in there. And speaking
Mhm.
of his next one on here, this one has a. Oh, wait a minute. Give me 1 second. I'll give him another joke because I have to
What?
bring in
What
somebody.
jokes?
I have to bring in another set.
I don't have any
person.
jokes, but
You have no more
I
jokes?
will.
Oh, come
No,
on.
no, but
Really?
I will say why. Do you know why the chicken crossed the road?
Why?
It's not a joke. This is. It didn't cross the road. Chuck Norris roundhouse kicked it to the other side.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 minute.
Not a joke, though. Not a joke.
Sending out a link to somebody here that says they are available. Because we had sent out a lot of links, but the one thing about this is that a lot of people were saying, well, that I've invited. They said, well, I didn't see a Chuck Norris movie. Well, it doesn't matter. You come on, of Chuck Norris. You've seen him on either the Tonight Show or Conan or Letterman or any of these shows. You've probably seen him in the news.
You should know of him.
You should know him.
Yeah. He was Chuck Norris was also once in a push-up contest. Did you know that? You know how many push-ups he did?
How many?
All of them.
Hi, Keely. How are you? Greetings from the other side of the world, over in Hong Kong. Speaking of Hong Kong, Keely's here. Keely, we're talking about Chuck Norris. Talking about Chuck Norris today. Keely, if you're interested in coming on and talking about it, let me know. I'll send you a link. And over on Rumble, I think it's my first Rumble. What is that called? Don't Cancel Me 3. Laughs out loud. Okay. Thank you. That's from over on Rumble. Thank you for watching over on Rumble. I really do appreciate it. I'm good. How are you? Keely saying we're doing good. How Snob's doing good, right? Snob, you're doing good.
You bet. I've got lots. I've been collecting some fun facts about Chuck Norris, his life, and that sort of thing. So I've got a lot. I got a bunch of those. I can. Yeah, if anybody's interested, yeah.
And coming to the stage, we got a little late, but it's okay. Outpost Nerd joining us. Outpost.
Give me 1 second, gentlemen.
No problem. Take your time. Take your time. We'll wait just a moment. Once again, those of you who haven't yet, subscribe, like, share. Don't forget, we do have super chats and memberships. We have 3 levels of memberships now. We have the lurker, we have the super fan, neo fan, and basically the asylum. And Keeley says Chuck Norris is the type of guy who would go on his terms. He told the Grim Reaper that he was finally ready to go. Yeah, that's right. There's a couple of guys who drew that, where death was knocking on his door, and he's like, "Are you ready yet, Mister Norris? We could wait for another decade or so." Those are always funny on there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Outpost is having some sound issues, but it's okay on there. We'll move
Yeah.
on to the next movie.
Yeah, did you know that when Chuck Norris plays dodgeball, the balls dodge him?
Oh no!
Okay,
You didn't
what's
know?
up, fellas?
Little fun fact.
Just made it in time for one of the best films. How you doing, Outpost? How you doing?
Doing good. What's up? What's up?
Well, we're up to one of the best. I think one of the best films for him because it has a great cast. Tell me what are your thoughts on Chuck Norris movies?
There was something special about them. They celebrate I think with what was the one where he was a prisoner of war?
That's Missing in Action 1, 2, and 3.
Missing in Action. Yeah, they hit on a topic that for a long time was being ignored: the prisoners of the Vietnam War, like prisoners men we left behind. That some people, we didn't leave, but they were something special, and they were special because of him and how he, not as he was as his character, the stories, as a person, because he was a really special guy, not just because he could kick ass, but he loved people. He treated them so fairly, and it was just, he was one of a kind.
Oh yeah,
and I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him because he was never one to. I don't think in many of the movies I saw, like Sidekicks or even Walker Texas Ranger, which I watched religiously when I was young, he was never the one to start the fight, but he was the one to finish it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sidekicks when we get to that. I hope we get to that one.
Well, we don't have Sidekicks on there. We did show a clip from it in the opening on there.
That was to me.
Well, we can talk about it a little bit later. We have time. We can throw it.
Yeah.
It's really good. But also, Good Guys Wear Black. That was part of the premise. Also, was about POWs.
Yeah.
Because you just missed that. So basically, that was Good Guys Wear Black. Part of the premise was POWs being returned back from Vietnam.
I think he had a soft spot for Vietnam veterans.
Yes.
That we as a society as a whole kind of did not treat them fairly.
No.
Well, I mean, there was a number of movies about that type. I mean, Rambo and Stallone was doing stuff like this as well at the time. So it was somewhat popular.
It's different with Stallone. Yeah, Stallone, he was actually a draft dodger. He was drafted and ran, so a lot of people don't remember that about him. But I think he's making up for that with his like, he does work with Tunnels to Tower. Stallone does work with Tunnels to Tower and Wounded Warriors and all these charities. But at the time, I think he believed that the Vietnam War was unjustified, which a lot of people, I could see both sides of that argument.
Yeah, because First Blood was written from a novel from some. He was reenacting someone that went through that traumatic point onto there. But then, of course, First Blood, they took it to the extreme on that.
Yeah, great cast.
Oh yeah, great movie, cast.
By the way,
but speaking of a great cast,
I loved it.
Here's one with a great cast.
Sorry.
You take a movie that basically was produced by Frank Capra Jr., has Chuck Norris, Christopher Lee, Richard Roundtree, Mako, and Professor Toru Tanaka. If you don't know who that is, if you ever watched The Running Man, Sub-Zero, they were all in this movie called An Eye for an Eye. And this is a really good film. I wish I uploaded one of the original posters. The original posters made it look like a horror film. Because it's just literally, it's like, I think it's like Chuck's eyes on there, and a girl that's strangled because there's the main premise of this movie is Chuck and his partner are investigating this a drug situation, and his partner gets killed. He ends up quitting the force because of it because he blames himself for it. The partner's girlfriend decides to investigate into it. She turns up to be murdered and she's left hanging in her bathroom, and Chuck just goes all off from that point. And it is some great fight scenes in there, especially with Mako and Chuck. And, speaking of sidekicks, Mako and Chuck,
Yeah, I was about to say.
are that's a reunion on them in sidekicks because they were both.
And Mako,
Yeah.
God, he was an amazing actor. He was the original voice of
Yep.
Aku in Samurai Jack. He was the original Iroh. He was the in Conan Destroyer, Conan the Barbarian, Conan Destroyer. I mean, yeah, he was another just like amazing with that booming. He was so good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, this
love Mako.
tag team that him and Chuck are in this movie, and then fighting Toro Tanaka, it is just, oh man, it's just awesome. And I don't know I don't know if Toro had a problem with his foot or not. He had like this big Frankenstein foot on his right leg, and it was just like he had it so like out of balance in one way. I don't know why they had it that way. But there's some great fight scenes in this movie. I just literally, I mean, Chuck is just going to town on everybody. I mean, around a helicopter, busting into the house. Him and Mako just kicking ass, taking names and numbers on there. Keely Chow says Chuck Norris doesn't have a good aim. His bullets just know better than to not miss. Oh, the jokes are just sitting there on there.
One of my favorite jokes, Tom, about Chuck Norris is there's no chin behind Chuck Norris's beard. There's only another.
You
fist.
missed that.
Because there's a Family Guy actually animated that. They had Chuck Norris comes up to Peter's Walker, just as Walker Texas Ranger, and punches him at Peter in the face through his beard.
Yeah, that's the scene I had. You missed like the tribute, the 5-minute tribute, and that we threw that in there because I mean you got to remember Chuck did a lot, as far as his appearance on media. I mean, Family Guy, Conan O'Brien, Johnny Carson, David Letterman.
Yeah.
He was on which I had the clip in here. Most people won't realize that clip where he's in the bar fighting, which had sound. That's a series called Yes Dear.
Yes. Yep.
He teamed up with the
I remember that.
The main character from Yes Dear. They had a fight in the freaking middle of the bar.
Well, the story was I remember that show. I used to love that show. The two guys married sisters. One guy who's the straight-laced guy, he was like an executive at a movie studio, and the brother-in-law was a security guard. And he got to be friends with Chuck Norris, and he kind of pushes Chuck into this fight, and Chuck kicks butt in it. And he's like, "Well, this is gonna how it's be. I'm not gonna hang out with you." I'm like, "Oh," but yeah. In his later career, he did a lot of cameos as himself.
Oh yeah, he was great for that. I mean, like again, bringing up sidekicks. He was in Sidekicks in Joe Piscopo. That was just a really really funny movie for him to be in, and he's been in a lot of other stuff. When he was on Conan O'Brien, they used to do the Walker Texas Ranger pull, and because at that time period, NBC and Universal merged. So the big joke on Conan's show was like, "Hey, listen, we got the rights to Walker Texas Ranger, and we can show scenes however we want to show them." And speaking of a scene from that, let's take it from this. This is the scene that just grabs you every time when you see Walker Texas Ranger.
Seems so much shorter than a week, but in some ways, a lot longer.
I know what you mean.
It's okay, Aunt Alex. I'm a man now.
Haley Joel Osment.
Thank you.
That reservation still standing? Barely.
Wow.
And how you doing, little partner?
Fine. And it's little visitor now. Atawoyoli's how you say it in Cherokee.
Oh, well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I have AIDS.
That is just the most messed up thing to happen. Oh, no, that was on Conan. Conan had that also. I mean,
ouch.
Ouch. Really, ouch. You know, just to hear that on a walk, I got AIDS. I was like, holy shit. I mean,
that was when shows like that did not hesitate to talk about the big issues of the day. Like, how many bad guys on Walker Texas Ranger were white supremacist groups?
Oh yeah,
because that was a big problem in the 90s. It wasn't it early 90s.
Yeah.
Not really, but it was on.
Well, I don't know how it was in Canada, but it was an issue in some places.
It was an issue in
down
the
here.
U.S.
Yeah,
it was an issue,
Like-
and a lot of times, a lot of the movies were
not
like white
really,
supremacist movies. You know that basically, you know, you had some films that talking about the bad guys with the whites. If they weren't from the Middle East, if they weren't like some sort of terrorist group from whatever country you could think of, the Russians, the Chinese or anything like that, then they did white supremacists also.
Yeah, like one of my favorite movies is A Substitute 3.
Oh yeah.
And where he works with that militant, where he works to fight that militant white supremacist teacher who was like a mercenary in the war, who now is like brainwashing these kids. Great movie.
Oh yeah. Great film. But moving on to the next film, it's one of my favorites. And the one thing about this film, and you just got to love it for the opening segment of this movie. There's a fight scene as you can see on the picture on here. It's sort of like a shadowy figures. It's like it's in the opening credits, but this shows up toward the middle of the movie also. So the director had the balls to show the major fight scene in the opening credits and show it in the middle of the movie, but still, it was still a great film. Of course, Chuck Norris is in this. Oh wow, they don't even have the cast listing here, but there are a lot of people in it. The most takeout for this is I don't know if you know who Mary Louise Weller is. If you ever seen Animal House, Memory Pepperidge in Animal House, the blonde, she's in it. She plays Chuck's girl in this movie. Basically, it was directed by James Fargo. He plays sort of a bodyguard for this casino, sort of a guard to this casino owned by a Jewish man, and basically, that took him in when he was in just coming out of the military. Saw something in him, and sort of like took him under his wing, and him and his son and most of his family is murdered except the daughter, and he has to protect the daughter from this crime family, and it's shot up all up and down Hong Kong, and basically they're trying to escape where they can't escape because basically this crime family has eyes everywhere, and the fight scenes are just like I said, any Chuck Norris film, they're great fight scenes. Some stand out. This happens to be one of the ones that stand out as fight scenes because it gets to one point that his girlfriend is murdered by the big villain of the film, the big fighting villain of the film. She ends up to be sexually assaulted and murdered, and left on the floor, and Chuck just goes all off after that. He takes out everybody hard on there as well. Trying to remember, is Mako was in this one too? I think
Nope.
Mako was in this one too. No, it wasn't Mako. It was somebody else. It was another somebody else that was in this movie that was also famous. Unfortunately, they don't list it in the in the wiki. I brought up the wrong wiki on that one. But all in all, it is a great film. Now, gentlemen, did you know Chuck did a horror film?
Yes, I did know that because you told me that.
Well, yeah, I did tell you that. Alpus, did you know that?
Just say no.
Just say no.
Okay, no. I'm
It's a bit.
lagging so much. I'm lagging so much. But no, I did not know that.
Yep. Well, there was a movie which most people don't realize. This came out in '82, and it starred Chuck Norris, Ron Silver, and of course, because we love Babylon 5 so much, Stephen First is in this film as well. And it is called Silent Rage. Now, the main premise of the Silent Rage is about a hold on a minute. Okay. It's basically a guy who basically has mental problems, and his meds are not starting not to work, and he's trying to contact his doctor, but he goes off the handle, picks up an axe, and kills everybody in this house. And Chuck plays the sheriff of the town. Shows up. They end up taking him in custody. He ends up breaking out of custody and is shot dead. His body is taken back to the mortuary where, Ron's trying to figure out. Ron Silver plays his psychiatrist. They're trying to figure out the situation. And another doctor steps in and says, well, let me have the body. I have this thing I can test out, and I would like to test it on him. And it turns out to be a serum that basically brings him back to life, and he becomes an unstoppable killer.
That just sounds weird.
Yeah, it's like he zombifies him and he brings him back to life, and he just basically goes on a rampage, killing anybody that's involved in the situation.
This actually happens more than you know, but the government covers it up.
But basically,
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It kind of leaves off for a sequel, which they never came back on this. But all in all, the movie it's a good movie for its time period. I think it's one of the earliest, of all the earliest films I saw Chuck. This was one of the first ones I got to see, and I got it on beta when it came out on beta, because I had a Betamax, on there before VHS.
Of course you did.
But all in all, it's just like think it's like Chuck Norris versus the undead in this movie. And I hate to break it for anyone who likes Stephen First. Yes, he does die in this movie. He gets body crushed. He gets body crushed in this movie. He gets picked up and his spine is snapped.
Okay.
But it's different for Chuck. I mean, even though he did Hellbound and Hero and the Terror, nothing comes close to the real true genre as Silent Rage. On that. Now, did you know that in this period, Chuck had a Saturday morning cartoon?
Yes, I did.
Yep. That's right. Chuck Norris. And this goes to 86. Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. And that
at this time they were trying to make all those like big blockbuster stars. Like they did like a Conan cartoon. They did like even a Rambo. They did Mr. T. They were trying to take all these violent action stars, like action movies, and make them Saturday morning cartoon characters.
Toxic Avenger was one.
Got it. Yes.
It's like Toxic Event. They gave Toxic Avenger that. What is it? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes had their own show as well. They did anything that was either a horror type or an action type. Got a Saturday morning cartoon,
Yeah.
which was a shocker. But the major difference is Chuck had a toy line.
Yeah, all those 80s cartoons were toy commercials.
Yeah, yeah, it's literally toy commercials. Now Chuck created the series, and you had the voices of Sam Fontana, Kathy Garver, Robert Ito, Mona Marshall, Bill Martin, Alan Oppenheimer, and Kyo Young, who worked on this. Ruby Spears was the production house this came out of.
Oh, Alan Oppenheimer, Skeletor himself.
Yeah, Skeletor himself. Yes. Yes. And this ran how many episodes? One season. It only got like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this was at a time that basically we just got too far with this, with all this. And it was getting close to, and this was getting close to the Senate subcommittee hearings that happened, which basically put Saturday morning cartoons, into a kibosh. That basically they could no longer do Saturday morning cartoons. They had to go more educated type of film. So
Yeah, that was really because of G.I. Joe and those kind of shows.
Oh yeah.
But I grew up, and I think they got past that because in the 90s, I grew up and a lot of Saturday morning cartoon shows were anime.
Yeah.
Like I remember Digimon, I watched that on Saturday mornings. I watched Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, all those kind of superhero shows on Saturday mornings when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's I mean, we're looking back at a lot of that stuff now. Voltron is now available on Roku TV. Free. You can watch I think all the seasons is now available on that, all remastered to that point. But the time period, I mean, you had a lot of great cartoons. I mean, to have Chuck Norris have one, you even had a wrestling one, Hulk Hogan wrestling.
I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, they had like all the wrestlers from the WWE were in the show. So it was like
God,
it
why
was
is
a
my
whole.
computer being so stupid?
The computers are acting weird today. I think the internet's acting a little weird today. It was acting weird yesterday on Twitter also.
Well, it's like I have you open in one window, and I have like Chuck Norris filmography, and I'm trying to search other thing, and it literally stops dead in its tracks.
Oh no! Well,
because Restream is wonky with me on a good day.
Actually, they've been wonky lately. I don't know what the hell's going on with Restream lately. I know they've been making some changes, some good changes, but I don't know if that's affecting everything that's come on to that's in the system itself. Because I've had some kickouts as of late. I mean, last week we almost lost the stream, just right almost to the end of the stream. We got to the 2-hour mark, and it looks like it was going to kick out.
It's like my windows are completely frozen, but I'm still able to talk.
Okay, good. So we'll move on to the next one, and we're getting to the Golden Globus era and the canon eras. Of course, we have to mention Missing in Action.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Norris, the first one, Chuck Norris, Emmett Walsh, James Hong. If you haven't seen this, do watch it. Especially if anything, watch the second one, which I find the second one is really, really good. The third one is it sounded like Chuck was doing a dare on the third one. But also, it also brings up the children of Vietnam, the things that they went through in that time period, because you had a lot of children of mixed races in that time period that was left over from the Vietnam War. But the plot on that one is icky. But 1 and 2 are very good, are very, very good. You had Chuck returning back to Vietnam on a fact-finding mission to basically the U.S. government is talking with the Vietnamese government that they claim there are no more POWs here in Vietnam and all that. And Chuck goes in on his own to find some POWs on there to prove that he's right to the point. And it turns into some really good action on there. A lot of gunkata, as I would say, on that, using heavy machine guns and everything to that nature, and it's really good. The second one I like because it's basically puts to the premise. Oh, we lost the outpost. He'll be back. Uh, the second one basically puts to the premise of him being as a POW in the encampment. And it is a great.
It's a prequel, right?
It's a prequel.
Kinda.
And basically everything all right? Outpost? He's still having issues. Yeah, it's a prequel. Stephen Williams, I believe, was in it also. And okay, just a second. And it's basically, like I said, there's torture, some real nasty torture in this movie. Okay, what are you saying, Snob? Do you know, was it? You know how people know Chuck is at a party? You don't know, but the party knows. Oh no.
Yeah, it's true. Fun fact: Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He just stares at them until he gets the information that he wants. I
Oh
don't know
no.
if you didn't know that. I don't know. If you
No,
did
I
not.
did not know that. I did not know that at all.
It's true.
I didn't know it at all. But yeah, the Golden Globus stuff was really good because I mean, they took it to the next level in the action for him. I mean, not only doing the karate and all that, like in part two, that last scene where he's fighting the I think it's the colonel or the general, whatever, that the guy who's running the camp, and I mean, he literally just beats him to a pulp, but doesn't kill him. Doesn't kill him, and I hate to give this away. He's like every major hit he's given him. This is for this guy, and this is for this guy. He leaves the camp head just sitting in the middle of the hut. Walks out, pulls out a trigger, and he says, "This one's for me." He pulls it, it blows him up. To the point, and the way that it ends just the way it's supposed to end. Now, those of you who are watching, stay on there. I highly recommend hit over to Razor Fist. Razor Fist has two films from him. That, in fact, the next one we're going to talk about. That basically he does a background on it. And he does a great background on it. And we lost Outpost again. Like for example, with Invasion USA, which
Classic.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
One of the better rated Chuck.
It's one of the worst scripts you can think of, but action wise, it is really really good. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. Again, Golden Globus on there. Chuck Norris, Richard Lynch, and Melissa Prophet all starring together. I mean, I'm trying to remember the joke for freaking Razor Fist on that. He had called Richard Lynch somebody else. He's like, he's a dollar store. Trying to remember. Oh, yeah, dollar store Rucker Hauer here. He was calling him because it's like,
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch.
Damn.
But Lynch had done a lot already, and at this point, it's like, hey, have we had a lot of Lynch? We've seen a lot more of the others, but Lynch has been on it. But he was a good cut on this. The major plot is that you got a terrorist group invading the United States. They're causing a bit of havoc by dressing up as police and army and causing havoc throughout the United States.
Terrorists. They're dirty commies.
Well, they were a mixture. They were a mixture of a lot. South
Can
Americans.
you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Jesus Christ on cracker.
It happens, Outpost.
No,
Listen,
it's just it's like 4 or 5 things after another in like the past 10 minutes. Like, holy crap, what's going on with my computer? But yeah, I've never seen Invasion USA.
you've never seen Invasion US? This Invasion is, like I said, the script is awful. Okay, a lot of the wording is off, but it's just Chuck makes it go, and so does Richard Lynch. And what it is that the reason Chuck's involvement is that he used to work for the government, and he had the chance to kill Richard Lynch back in the day, but the CIA held him back. So basically, now throughout the film, he's I just love it. He's like, like he'll beat up one of his henchmen. He says, "If you see him, tell him it's time to die." Throughout the whole freaking movie, Chuck is like, "Tell Nico it's time to die." He ends up in the meet. He ends up in the what is it? There's a scene where he's talking to the media, and he says, "Do you have any messages you want to tell the people out there?" I said, "Yeah." Starts to speak in a foreign language, and then it says, "Nico, it's time to die." And it leads to the end. I mean, like I said, Outpost, you missed the opening on that, and I did throw this in there. It has one of the great one-offs to killing any villain in a movie, which basically, when you have that many body parts in an explosion, you got to say, "Well done, Chuck." You know? And then, of course, the funny part is guys getting their ass kicked from nowhere. Guy gets there's one guy who's walking around, and I have this also on the tribute. Guy's walking, looking both ways, comes up, and then suddenly a foot comes out of nowhere. It's like, whoosh, it's like, what the hell happened? Where was he hiding? But all in all, this is a great movie. It kind of puts to the premise, you could say, some of the things that are happening today, with Antifa and all that, all the bullshit that's going on as of late. But they take it to an insane level on Invasion USA. I mean, you have a bunch of guys showing up on pontoon boats, entering the beach of Miami, on the dusk of night. And say, "Well, we're the cops," at this point. So it's a good movie. It is a good movie. Well worth it. Also on Tubi TV as well.
That's
Now,
right. That's where I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck has fought Bruce. He's fought Dean Martin. He's fought many people. Now, did you know he fought Carradine?
Yes. What movie was that?
Yes. And also, there is a crossover from Star Trek Voyager in this, and it's Lone Wolf McQuaid.
Yes.
Which, in a way, it's because he plays a Texas Ranger.
So it is, no, it is actually the inspiration for Walker.
Yeah,
it is.
And
you are completely right in that. To see that comparison, they actually took this character and changed him and molded him into Walker.
Yeah, and this movie,
this is actually one of Chuck's best rated movies.
Yeah, it is. It is. It stars Chuck Norris, David Carradine, sexy Barbara Carrera, Leon Isaac Kennedy, if you know him from the Penitentiary movies, and L.Q. Jones. It is really good. This is from the Orion Pictures era, also. So basically, he was doing multiple companies. Orion is long gone from this.
Yes, I remember Orion.
Yeah, and it is basically he plays a Texas Ranger that basically gets into a involved situation of a gun runner, played by Carradine, and the woman that gets in between them, Carrera, who is played by Carrera, and it is just. I mean, the opening minutes to this movie is just insane. I mean, it's like and of course Robert Beltran is in this movie, Chicote, and he sort of plays the sort of partner to McQuaid in this movie. But basically, the opening minutes of this is some sort of Mexican gang has some of the Texas Rangers all tied up, and everything is about to wipe them out. There's Chuck on top of a I think it's like sort of like a small mountaintop with a sniper rifle, and starts taking guys out. And the guy goes, "Oh, who are you?" McQuaid, Texas Ranger, and you see half the guys just jump back. They're like, "Oh shit, it's McQuaid!" But it turns into like just a real insane gun kata with submachine guns in that scene. I mean, he does a spinning turn. It takes out half the guys with that spinning turn alone. He just like he shoots first and does a spin turn with the machine gun firing simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the top part of this is Carradine and Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just
two icons of martial art.
Icon martial artists fighting in the same movie. I mean, we've had a couple of them. Chuck has fought some guys, you know, in his career. You know, going all the way back to Bruce Lee. You know,
Carradine gets almost equal billing on some of these movie posters for the promoting the movie. So yeah, he's a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
he's Bill. Come on, who doesn't love Kill Bill?
Oh, of course. I mean, well, my favorite always is Kung Fu. You know, Kwai Shang Kang, where he played Kwai Shang Kang. That Carradine did. And
originally meant to be played by Bruce Lee.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
Yes, you are correct about that. But I think it worked out well for Carradine. It was if you guys have not seen Kung Fu the series, and I'm not talking about Kung Fu the Legend Continues, which is it's the same story, but basically it's the future. It's the
You're talking about the original.
Yeah, we're talking about the original. They did make a series on that. Carradine returns, but he returns as the grandson of Kwai Shang Kang in present day, and he has a son, and they get into adventures together. You know, his son is a cop, and so that whole thing. It's okay. But the original series is
The Legend Continues.
Right. The original Kung Fu is also fantastic. The original on there. You know, you get the whole thing from master. You know, it's like, take the pebble from my hand. When you can take it from the hand, it'll be time for you to go. You know, and those scenes where he, like in the credits, where he's leaving and he has to put his two wrists, against that pot that's like hot, that tattoos, the dragon and tiger on his arms, and he's carrying it out the door, and then goes out and puts his arms in the snow from all the pain. That's just a great scene, and every time on there. But yeah, good fight between these two, explosive fight on there. But speaking of explosive fight, now you guys are familiar with the Iranian crisis back during the Jimmy Carter administration, where we had hostages.
Yeah, the shit we're still dealing with now.
Yeah, the shit we're still dealing with now. Now, there was a movie made in '86 also, which was it Golden Globus, and it teamed up another major action star with Chuck Norris, and that's Lee Marvin, Delta Force. And that starred Lee Marvin, Chuck Norris, Martin Balsam, Joey Bishop, Kim Delaney, Robert Forster, Lainey Kazan, George Kennedy, Susan Strasberg, Bo Stevens, Robert Vaughn, and Shelley Winters. One hell of a cast. And Robert Forster played a terrorist, a Middle Eastern terrorist. You would not recognize, unless you looked carefully, that this was Robert Forster. You know, he got all tanned up for this and everything, really dark tan for this movie, you know, so that. But the main premise is the way the movie starts is that this Delta Force was the Delta Force that, you know, failed in the Iranian situation. It's years later, and now a terrorists have taken over an airplane, and Delta Force is now sent in. Chuck Norris's character was semi-required, but retired. But then he sees what's happening, and he knew exactly that basically his old team will be, you know, sent to go stop this terrorist action. And you know, if like I said, if you listen to the beginning of this in of this show, we had the music soundtrack to that also playing in the background, which had a great soundtrack, you know, to the point, you know, it kind of fit for Chuck Norris as an action star. And to have the other great Lee Marvin in this movie, who did a lot of war films, westerns, you know, you name it. Lee was like, you know, one of the old action star at this time, and Chuck is more still the new veteran at this point. You know, together, you know, no one expected a movie like this. I mean, have you guys seen this?
I'm not sure if I've,
I have not.
you know, I might have, you know, I said tons of stuff when I was, you know, but it's been 40 years. Um, yeah, I think so, but not recently.
Yeah, I mean it sorry, it is a great film. It is really a great film. It was very well shot. You know, I mean, the Golden Globus films from that era, the Cannon films from that era were great movies. Some of them, the plots weren't that great, but as far as the action, the cinematography, were all well done, and they deserve a lot more respect, especially in this era. You know, where people are trying to cancel out a lot of these movies. They said, "Oh, we don't need that." You know, we don't. Oh, they made these kind of guys the bad guys, but they were the bad guys. People don't realize is that we're discriminating against them. No, sorry. Communists were bad. Middle Eastern terrorists are bad. You know, the mob is bad. You know, you have a lot of bad guys, but you know, people want to treat them like, no, we can't treat them like that. It'll be very racial, some stereotype. But it happened. You can't say it never happened. And these movies brought that out. And I mean, really, really good action onto that. I mean, perfect example now. Next, the last part of this, uh, you know, Walker Texas Ranger, obviously. How many stories that you could say on Walker that led to something today? Like we were just earlier to we had the AIDS crisis, white supremacy. You know, there was not a story there that just didn't reflect to today's society. And Walker is still one of the best series, you know, on television. I mean, they tried rebooting it with one of the guys from Supernatural.
It was Jared Padalecki, I think.
Yeah, and the only reason it did what it did was because of Jared Padalecki, because girls
A lot
still
of yeah,
liked
a lot of
him
people
at that
from
time.
a lot of the fans, Supernatural fans, wanted followed over, but they've taken these great 80. They've done this about now. They did it with MacGyver. They did it with Walker. They took these lone wolf heroes and made them part of a team. That's not what made these characters originally so great. MacGyver, he was great because he didn't need the help. He knew all the stuff that he needed to do. Walker was not really a lone wolf. He had Trebek. He had Alec. Had what's his name? What's the character's name that owned whatever the retired ranger that owned the restaurant. They worked together, but he could hold his own by himself. Where you don't see that anymore. It's like it goes from like that the sense of individuality that these heroes gave people that you could do this stuff on your own to nowadays where these characters who are made to be part of teams or it's it tells you that you can't save the world by yourself. You have to be part of a group.
That's interesting. I mean, in general, all of these action movies are much more, are much, they're not as popular now. I mean, we have Chuck Norris in these times, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, the two bigger guys. I mean, even a revival of these movies, sort of, in the Expendables, which brings all these guys together. I mean, they're all together, right? It's a team, right?
Right.
So it is. It's like America is losing its sense of, the strength of the individual and moving.
Well, they've
more
taken away the
towards, group
masculinity.
stuff.
They've taken away the masculinity in these movies. It's like the masculinity is like, it's a taboo. We can't show men being, strong.
I think that's why the John Wick franchise was so popular up until Ballerina, which I liked it. I liked Ballerina. It was good, but the John Wick movies themselves were so much better. It showed one man on a mission, and there was no force on earth was going to stop him. And we don't get that kind of story anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there is some, but it's nowhere near like it was in the 80s. I mean, there's a couple like
what
the accountant was one, the lone wolf,
and that was the original, the good one, the one that was just the first one. I like the first one better because once again, the second one showed that he couldn't do what he needed to do on his own.
Well, most of the Jason Statham movies were really good as well.
Yeah, but it is definitely much less than in the 80s. I mean, the 80s were just filled with these. Like we've got, like I said, you've got Stallone, you've got Schwarzenegger, and they're competing back and forth to put the biggest movies. And then you've also got, Chuck Norris doing his thing in there and others. But it's, it's much, much less for sure.
Yeah,
I think
you
what made
Go ahead.
The Expendables were so great because it had all these 80s action movie stars. One, it told us they could still do it. And two, it showed that the competition and sometimes outright hatred, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone, they hated each other back in the 80s. They didn't carry that on to this day and age. They were willing to make a good movie together and put aside their personal issues for the sake of the project.
Yeah. You just sent me something.
Yes.
Zombie Plane.
God, that is going down as Chuck Norris's last fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is Australian action comedy.
Starring Vanilla Ice.
With Vanilla Ice, which Vanilla has been getting a turnaround on his career. He's been doing a lot of comedies. Like he had that movie with Adam Sandler that he did, which was really good. The one where his Adam Sandler had a child with his school teacher, and
Grandma's boy,
not Grandma's boy,
not Grandma's. That's my boy.
That's my boy. Yeah, and now he's getting married and all that. That whole wedding scene is just hysterical with freaking Vanilla Ice in the background. And he says, "Oh, you and Vanilla Ice had sex with Grandma." But yeah,
Come on.
It's this. Oh my God, I heard this, and I was like, "Really, Chuck? This must have been a favor he was doing for somebody." For that movie itself.
This is just another long list of his cameos. He had so many great cameos.
Oh yeah.
In his later career, like one cameo I liked the crossover between Walker, Texas Ranger, and Martial Law. I liked Martial Law.
Oh yeah, Martial Law was a good series. I like the Conan stuff.
Sammo Hung.
Oh, Sammy
Sammo
Hung.
Hung, who
Sammy Hung, yeah.
was
Yep.
he trained alongside Bruce Lee. One of my favorite movie series is Ip Man. You know that
Yeah.
movie that follows the fictionalized story of the man who would go to train Bruce Lee and that entire generation of martial artists. Sammo Hung played one of the. Because back then, and Bruce Lee faced this a lot. Martial arts were kept in the Asian community guarded like feverishly. You did not teach the white man our art is the kind of idea they had, and Bruce Lee kind of disregarded that when he taught Steve McQueen and that group that he taught in San Francisco back when he was coming up. And Sammo Hung played one of the critics who kind of the elders in Chinatown that it's like you're not going to teach this. How dare you teach this? But he was a big guy that could just hit the way Sammo Hung could move. So for being such a big guy is like holy shit.
No, you want to see him in a good film? 1985's Yes, Ma'am with Michelle Yeoh, Cynthia Rothrock. That's a great film.
Michelle Yeoh, I love her.
Yeah, if you haven't seen anything with Cynthia and Michelle together, you need to see it. It is just that them together are great films.
I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, but this
I had to watch that for one of my film classes in college, and I love that movie.
In fact, you could see Yes, Ma'am on Tubi free. So basically, you know, for those of you when you leave you leave us here, go over to Tubi, catch movies, but go see Yes, Ma'am. It is a really good martial arts film. To that point, I mean,
one movie I think gets unjust hate. It's Michelle Yeoh. One of Michelle Yeoh's movies is The Mummy 3. I liked it. It's not as good as the first two, but there's a scene where her and Jet Li fight. And on the dailies, she said on the dailies they put the fight the entire world has been waiting decades for.
Mm-hmm.
Between her and Jet Li, it was an amazing fight scene. Kind of movie, but I liked it.
There's another one with Jet Li in it, Unleashed with Bob Hopkins, which is really good. He plays
the one with him and Jason Statham was amazing.
Oh yeah, that too. But if you have not seen Unleashed, oh my god, he plays a kid who basically was separate. His mother died, and the guy kept him like a dog, like a leash of a dog, in his on there, and he was trained as a fighter, and Morgan Freeman's in this too, and
cool.
Morgan Freeman plays a piano man that's blinded, and he ends up escaping at one point, and it just turns into like if you ever seen The Raid, it just you have fight scenes like that. You know, like we said, these action heroes, these movies. 1980s was a big time period, because from the late 60s to the 70s to the 80s, you had a renaissance. The Hays Code was gone. The MPAA was rebuilding the entire Hollywood industry, which now, today I call it, Hays Code 2.0 now because, Hollywood has reverted into it. So on there, I mean, I'll give you another, thing on there. And I didn't put it up here, but if you ever heard of Andy Sidaris, the director, Andy Sidaris, have you guys ever heard of him?
Heard of Andy Sidaris.
Okay. Andy Sidaris used to work for the NFL. He used to be a, those NFL films, those great NFL films, the shots of them. They used to do the history of the NFL back in the day. Well, he decided to take his talent and went to go make movies.
Oh, he was like, this guy he coordinated the football scene in MASH. Okay. So if they had a football game in a movie, they'd call this guy, right?
Well, no, he shot mostly the
he directed
the games themselves. He would be like at an NFL game, he would be shooting it, and it ends up in those NFL films. But he went into the movie career creating some Malibu Express, Babes. Mostly, it was always, hot girls and really buffed guys in these movies, and they were really they were good flicks, but they were mostly known for the hot chicks in there, Playboy Playmate, Penthouse Playmates that they were used in these movies, but still had a lot of gauge. I remember Pat Morita was in one of them. Uh, um, Eric Estrada. There've been a lot of guys that did these movies. When you hear these type of things that are happening, and it's the same thing when it comes to Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris did a ton of these films, had a ton of these other actors that moved on to other bigger things, and continued, stuff that ended up on VHS rental shelves cross country.
Oh,
You know,
he did a lot of stuff with Julie Strain.
yes,
It looks like.
yes,
God, yeah, like Return to
yeah.
Savage Beach.
Another series, yeah, another bunch of these that are on Tubi TV also. To that point.
Yeah, I've watched them. They're great. Just funny, cheesy. Like the dialogue, the delivery is garbage, but it was just funny action awesomeness between all the bad dialogue in a couple of these movies. I loved them. Savage Beach, yeah, I watched that. Seen that. Okay, that's him.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Did
what
not
you
know
missed.
that.
I wanted to bring it back up again. What you missed before you got here. And this is Chuck and Dean Martin in The Wrecking Crew. And
God, look at that, like 70s, 60s, 70s
68,
haircut he's got.
68 this was. This was before Way of the
Oh,
This is before he went to go film Way of the Dragon.
Mhm.
And to be sitting there with the great Dean Martin. Dean Martin did a couple of these films, Matt Helm. I wish he was able to continue. They never went to fifth. They were supposed to go to number 5, and they never got a chance to go to number 5. It's the same thing with what is it? James Colburn, who did Flint. In like Flint and A Man Called Flint. He only got to 2. And this was supposed to be like the American versions of James Bond.
Yes. There's a joke during his roast. I think it might have been the woman standing behind him. I can't remember her name, but there's a joke that a woman says at his roast, talking about when he was doing these movies. Like, yeah, they said you were gonna be the next James Bond, but around the studio we called you James Bomb because they bombed at the theater.
And now they're cult classics.
Yeah.
How many action films that you can go that you can remember the box covers to? Not only Chuck, many other actors, people that you never heard of. Like you might have gone to the video store and said, "Hey, listen, this is a great cover." Like I said, the Force of One cover was a great cover that basically. Let me bring it up again here. There we go. Would you rent that? If you saw that in a video store, would you go out and rent that?
Probably.
Just for that look.
It'd catch my
That
eye.
catches your eyes straight out. That.
And now all of them, like so many movies now use the same kind of formula. Like you have the main character in the center and then people kind of around him in various shots. It's pretty much the same formula for posters nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't put up the poster for freaking for the original poster for Eye for an Eye. That was like if you saw that in the video store, you're like, holy shit, is this a horror film? Because literally it was like Chuck's eyes really mad, and just a woman hanging from a noose.
Yeah.
Right in, like in dead center.
One thing I want to talk about before we leave, the commercials that Chuck Norris did. They were so great.
Yeah.
Like the world, he did a World of Warcraft commercial where he played a hunter that was kind of in the vein of Walker, Texas Ranger. But my absolute favorite one he did was that United Healthcare commercial.
I showed both of those.
It's called Lunch versus Chuck. Yep. You did? I love that. I love it. It's so funny. He was good. I think people knew that. Yeah, these jokes, they're just jokes, but he could take them and play with them, play into them, and he he probably loved the jokes just as much as we did.
Oh yeah.
He could look at the caricature that he had become and laugh about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He seemed just like that kind of guy.
Did you know that?
And
Yeah. Did you know that Chuck Norris can dribble a bowling ball? He's done it. He's done it.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
But yeah,
you were mentioning there was with the one of the I guess one of the characters. I guess it wasn't the actor. The character was blind. You mentioned that earlier.
yeah, that was Unleashed with Jet Li
Right.
and Morgan Freeman.
Did you know that Chuck Norris can speak Braille?
He can?
Yep. He's like the only one.
He's super smart. He can divide by zero. Chuck Norris can divide by zero.
Well, I'm not sure if that. I don't know about that one, but I do know that he counted to infinity twice.
God, just play along.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I don't know if that's true. He did count in infinity twice, though. Yeah, so that's true. That's definitely true.
I mean, there's so many other films we
He
could have
was
gone
just-
over, and we don't have enough time to do it in. But looking at it,
Can I just talk about one?
Go ahead.
Can I just talk about the one that means the most to me?
Go ahead.
Sidekicks, to me, it's not his best, but to me, it's one of his most meaningful movies. It's hold on, I'm bringing it up. Jonathan Brandis, yeah, 92. Jonathan Brandis, Beau Bridges, Julia Nicholson, Richard Mull played in it. Joe Piscopo was the bad guy in it. Great cheesy bad guy, but just the idea. Jonathan Brandis plays the character. He's got asthma. He's still not recovered from, I think, his mother's passing. So he daydreams to the point that it's dangerous. He just shuts out the entire world, and he dreams that he's in a Chuck Norris movie being the sidekick of Chuck Norris. And Julia Nicholson plays his teacher who sees the problems and thinking, we need to give him, he loves martial arts movies. Why don't we find him a martial arts teacher? Well, his excuse is, I can't do all this because of my asthma. He's using that as a crutch not to take chances. And Mako, she brings in her uncle, played by Mako, and he teaches him martial arts. Teaches him how to use the nunchucks, which is one of the most difficult martial arts weapons to use. You have to have an extreme focus to use nunchucks. And they train him, and they take him to the big city tournament. Turns out they're one person short on their team. And Julia Nicholson's character has the audacity to go ask Chuck Norris to be the fourth member of their team. And he says yes. And he gets to live out his dream, basically, of being Chuck Norris's sidekick. And there's a great scene where Jonathan Brandis' character, his name's Barry, is sitting on the steps watching the tournament. And he's just entranced by it. And he doesn't realize Chuck Norris takes the seat right behind him, and he just claps. He's focused, turns around, and it's just jaw drops, and eyes get big. Chuck Norris is like, "I'm going to help you." I think that
we're gonna go win this. Let's go win this together.
And he beats Joe Piscopo's ass in that.
We showed it.
Movie, which I just loved it because it showed how. I think it probably was life, art imitating life almost. I think Chuck Norris, he did a lot of charities, a lot of teaching.
He created his own martial art.
He
created his own martial art.
Yeah. I think the guy who played Spawn, what was his name? In the movie. He's a martial artist. And he said that, and someone asked him who was the better martial artist, Jean-Claude Van Damme or Chuck Norris. And he said, Van Damme is great. Van Damme can read the moves. He can dance with you. Chuck Norris can actually fight. He'll kick your ass. He said, I don't think Jean-Claude Van Damme had ever been in a real fight. Chuck Norris could actually hold his own in a real fight.
Well, he created his own system called Chun Kuk Do, which was based on the Tang Soo Do type of martial arts.
So this was a guy he shined a light on the martial arts through his movies, but he was the real deal. He lived the art, and he took it to light years above what it was before him, and brought it to so many of us. I wanted to do karate as a kid, but I couldn't afford it because I watched Walker Texas Ranger. I was the kind of stupid kid that would watch Walker or Power Rangers and try to imitate. I was the kid that parents were worried about when those shows were on. I imitated the moves. I'd jump off the couch and break something, and but it showed me that discipline and almost a meditation. If I would have done that as a kid, I think things would have been so much different for me. And when I can, I'm 38 years old. I plan on finding a martial arts school in town and learning. I don't think it's ever too late to
No,
learn.
it's never too late. I mean, a lot of people have taken it later in life. I mean, if you watch Force Vengeance, the gentleman who plays his mentor in the movie is a lot older Jewish man, and he's doing some martial arts in that as well. So it's, it's never too old to take it up onto there.
No, yeah, you should take it up if you're
The other thing we got to bring up on sidekicks, and most people don't realize.
Yeah, I just gotta get some money first.
Yeah, it's the tragedy of that with Jonathan Brandis, who basically
Yes.
self-deleted himself. I mean, this is a kid who had a good career. Sequest, this movie, he had, he
Yeah.
could have had a long career, but it just, something happened. This happens with.
It stalled out.
Yeah.
It stalled out, and he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean,
Sadly,
yeah, it's just, when you see a movie like Sidekicks, it was, it was a great movie. The script wasn't.
He was Bastion, and he this guy. I'm looking at his wiki. He worked with that same year Sidekicks. He worked with Rodney Dangerfield in Ladybugs. In '90 he was Bastion in Never Ending Story 2.
He was also in It.
Yeah, Heart's War.
Yeah, he did a lot of movies. The Flash TV series, Ghost Dad, L.A. Law.
Of course, you mentioned
Gabriel's.
Sequest.
Here's one I haven't heard. Gabriel's Fire. I haven't heard that series in a long time. On there,
he was Mosenrath, one of the best, my favorite bad guys from Aladdin, the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a lot of stuff. You could see looking at his wiki, it slowly started mid to late 90s. It started slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, most people know him for Sequest and Sidekicks.
Yeah.
To that point.
Yeah.
But once again, here we are. Chuck is gone, or if you believe what people say online, he's not gone.
Chuck Norris isn't
gone. He ain't gone. He took over Death's role.
St. Peter just
he took over
guard,
Death's role.
St. Peter just needed a new guard at the pearly gates.
Exactly. And that's what you call.
He had.
That's what you call bigger than life. Is when you have a man.
Jonathan Brandis had bipolar disorder.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
but Chuck, bigger than life, one of the last action heroes.
Yeah.
We don't have them like this anymore. I think Tom is the last. Tom and Jason Statham are the last ones of the era, and basically we don't know what it's going to go beyond this. The only actions that we're getting now these days, the real good ones, are out of Asia. Out of Hong Kong, out of Thailand, out of Japan. Especially Thailand and those middle, Indonesia and all that. They make some great action films, and they don't hold back. But yet, they get over here, they want to edit them down. They say, it's too violent. What do you mean it's too violent? What do you call too violent? It is good entertainment. It's.
We need these outlets. I think one of the reasons, more so with little boys and young men, that we're seeing such a spike in violence. We don't have these outlets like we used to anymore, like these movies and TV shows or these activities.
Well, they were blamed for it. That was the thing. I mean, the 1980
Yeah.
late 80s into 90s, the Senate subcommittee hearings on music, video games, violence on TV and movies, they were sitting
Yeah.
down making lies, saying that, "Oh, we have the numbers, we have the research and all that," but it turns out to be lies. Years later, you got research groups that have done, and they've done backings on this that says violence on video games does not cause violence in real life. Uh, TV, music, that none of this has an effect. Yes, people have mental health issues, and it has to be resolved, and that's the whole thing. You can't.
But do you notice around that same time, what did Reagan do? The same time we were having these subcommittees, what did Reagan do? Shut down the asylums, the
Yes,
state-run
exactly.
hospitals that were
Yeah.
helping a majority of people that have these issues. Like I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, you're like in New York, they have the homeless problem. It's just because the people are poor; they're not making enough money." A lot of the homeless, not just in New York but around the country, they're suffering from um, mental issues, underlying mental
Mhm.
issues that lead to
Yeah.
homelessness.
Guess where they want to shove the guess
We're
where they
not
want to shove them to? They're shutting down the biggest
where.
one in Manhattan, which is next to Bellevue Hospital, which is like the one of the
Mhm.
largest men's uh, homeless shelter, which originally also housed a lot of guys who were cheese pizza, if you know what I mean by that.
Mhm.
And they moved the cheese pizza guys out of there, and moved them into a site that was more closer to elementary schools, which was a stupid mistake. And now they want to take all these homeless guys off of First Avenue in New York and move them to Staten Island.
Mhm.
And trust me, the
Y'all picked a great mayor.
politicians on both sides of the
Oh.
aisle here on Staten Island are saying, no way.
Did you ever see that Chris Rock movie Cell Block 4?
Ooh,
I think it was.
sounds familiar. I haven't seen the Chris Rock movie in a
It was
while.
basically like it kind of made fun of um, uh, um, um, oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
Ice-T and Ice-T and all them gangster rap.
Oh, CB4.
NWA.
CB4.
Yeah, CB4.
CB4. Yes.
In the movie, what was his name? Phil Hartman played this local politician who used their music as basically a political
Yeah.
tool to satisfy these groups, and that's what a lot of that the 80s and 90s stuff was about, satisfying these mom groups. Like remember, like this is a great example. I grew up. I'm the first generation Power Ranger fan. I was I was in kindergarten when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came out. So that means I was in about third grade when, or second or third grade when Lord Zed showed up. And have you ever seen the premiere
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
him? He's sitting like the blood is going through the pipes. His brain is like throbbing, and he's got a giant snake curled around him. He's badass. He's
Japanese
scary.
the
He's supposed to be
Japanese
like
version is even more
the
intense on
Zed.
Zed.
Zed is not Japanese. Zed is an
It
American
is American
creation.
creation, but they did incorporate.
No, they did not base
No,
any.
it wasn't
No,
based.
they
They
did not base
used it
any.
in.
No,
From what I understand, it
no.
was.
There's no Super Sentai counterpart to Lord Zed in any way, shape, or form.
For some reason I recall
He was an American creation. Yeah.
because most of that, well, there's a mixture.
Yeah.
It's Super Sentai, Go
All the fighting scenes.
Go
Yeah.
Ranger, and there was one other series. There's like a mix.
Mhm.
Power Rangers is made up of 3 different series. That
Yeah, but Lord Zed, they wanted an original American villain, and they created Lord Zed. But when he premiered, because remember in the second season he's a goofball, he's dorky, he's clumsy. The mom groups really were like went after that character to the point that Saban, who's a Hyman Saban is a dick anyway. They changed him. They made him goofier. They made him less threatening, which is prime example of the Senate committee stuff that you're talking about, that I experienced as a kid. Like I had I had all bunch of Power Rangers toys. Still got a couple of them. I had the lunchbox, and I think I have the thermos somewhere still. But there were we needed to be afraid of things. We needed when you the things that we're afraid of in entertainment teaches us how to handle things out in the real world almost. So when they dumb down things in the entertainment, they're not preparing kids for the world that's out there. And I think we've seen that the past 15, 20 years.
Now I'm looking up on Lord Zed. Yes, you're correct on that. But they did adapt it back into Japan. The voice actor.
Oh yeah, they took him and made him
Yeah, they
Japanese,
did.
right?
Dashi
Okay.
Gori.
So it was
Yeah,
reversed from
the voice
everything
actor.
else.
It was Dashi Gori, who was famous for Mr. Satan in Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Voice that I could listen.
Or Hercule,
Yeah,
as we
Hercule.
had to
You're
call him in
Hercule. You couldn't
America.
call him Mr. Satan at that time period. Onto that.
Yeah. Now it's Hercule Satan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've gotten to the end. It's 5:01 p.m. on there. So let's close this out. I mean, this is like I said, it's a great subject matter to talk about. Great movies. He has so many other great movies. You could find it on YouTube. You could find it on Tubi. You could find it on Roku. You could find it in many different places. Be sure to see the uncut versions as best as possible because there is some censorship, especially a lot of the stuff from Golden Harvest, Slaughter in San Francisco. I would suggest
God, I love that
I would
company.
suggest to watch it on Tubi. It is the uncut and it is English dub. So on this, hearing Chuck in a different voice, it's funny. It's funny as it is. It's not even his voice on there. So when you get on that, so
I think with so many people, my favorite fight scene ever was him versus Bruce Lee.
it's still good. Like
And he said
me and Snob were saying, the funny part was when they filmed it, they had a little kitty cat there, and they incorporated it in the scenes when they were just like doing the focus on the face, and they're like da da, and then a little meow.
Well, I heard an interview and he was asked about that fight scene, and he said when he got the call, he said, "I'll do it, but I'm not gonna. I want to actually get some hits in. I don't want to be like because Bruce Lee. I think that was the only fight he ever took a hit.
Oh,
really,
he really took a hit in that one.
And he said, and like you saw him bleeding. It's like seeing God himself or seeing Hercules bleeding when Bruce Lee like got a bloody liver. And I love the fight where he does that dirty trick of grabbing his chest hair, and he's
he blows it out
with his hand.
And there's one part where
Chuck
pulls out his finger and goes like
Yes, he's like,
no. On
so
there.
good. It's
I mean, the only other fight that
I think
anyone got a real good hit on Bruce happens to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game of Death, where he got him right in the chest. It left his footprint in Bruce's chest.
Was Kareem one of Bruce Lee's students?
He did supposedly. I have to look it up, but I believe so. Well, you have to remember, Bruce and Chuck trained a lot of Hollywood actors. Anybody who's been in the movies and they had to do martial arts fights or anything like that, a lot of them were choreographed by either Chuck or Bruce or both.
Yeah. Well, like I heard an interview that it was Chuck was asked about him getting his start, and he's like, "Well, Steve McQueen just casually dropped Steve McQueen's name." Like, yeah, we were done. Me and Steve McQueen were done training one day, and he asked me what I was going to do next. He's like, "Oh, I'll probably start teaching." And Steve's like, "How about you go into acting?" And he said that's what started it all. My God, to have that kind of freaking career that you could casually drop one of the most iconic movie stars of all time in casual conversation like that.
Yep.
Oh, Steve McQueen and I.
Yeah. So, Outpost, what do we got come up on your channel?
Nothing planned right now. I'm probably gonna talk a little bit about the great news we got yesterday.
Yes, I know. We're all still talking
Um,
about it days later. Yeah. Yeah.
I've ran into so many stupid people on Twitter.
Oh, Jason
Um,
just a little while ago, he did a live stream.
I saw it. I
And
almost
that was
commented
just
on it.
hysterical. Some of the stuff he was saying, some of the stupid and some of these people didn't even see the show.
Well, like William Shatner was defending it. I'm thinking, please, I said to, and I shared it with you. I said, you're you're excusing bad writing, bad acting, a complete disregarding of lore to the point of absurd to insanity, and you're attacking those of us who choose not to
Mhm.
like it because of those legitimate
Mm.
reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just the amount of cope. Have you noticed though, in the past 10 or 15 years, nothing has ever failed, no TV show or movie has ever failed of its own accord. It's always the fans' fault.
Yeah. Exactly. If they don't like there was a time and place where we had Siskel and Ebert Siskel and Ebert in the movies and such and such that was on every reviewers on every other network.
Yeah.
Nobody criticized them for saying
Nobody could because we didn't have the equipment like they did at home. Now we have so much more power sitting in front of us right now that we can get our voices out. It has been that kind of thing. Like I say, social media is a double-edged sword. It's both good and bad. But and I will also be doing favorite my favorites classic sci-fi shows, which I think next episode one of my shows I am talking about is Sequest. We mentioned
that's
that
a real
earlier.
good show. That's a real good show.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved the little bumpers at the end, kind of the G.I. Joe-esque bumpers, where they had an educational moment at the end of each episode. I loved it too that it was set down in South Florida, from where I lived. Like the base that Sequest was out of like one of the keys. I loved it. It was such a unique show that should have gotten more love.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'll be
All
trying
right.
to work on.
So Snob, what do we got tomorrow night?
Oh, tomorrow night's Babylon 5 again. Episode 14 from season 3, Ship of Tears, the return of Bester. Evil Walter Koenig. Bester comes back, and there's some stuff happening. I think we're ramping up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're getting to the hot and heavy. The 2-parter's coming up soon. I think that's about
very soon.
2 or 3 episodes. We're going to be
17 and 18.
Yep,
I think something like that.
I think I'm on both of those episodes for just that reason.
And this,
I don't know.
Well, I got my list. Well, I can check.
Yeah, we'll
I can
talk
check
about that later.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
And on this Sunday, of course, we're doing. We're going to be looking at Dune on the Top Lofty Lounge. I consider myself a little bit of an expert on Dune, not an expert, but fairly knowledgeable on the topic. I'm going to talk a bit about it. Just.
You excited for Doom Messiah coming out?
Dune Part 3. They didn't call it. They're not calling it Messiah.
Isn't that going to be based off of Doom Messiah?
We think so. It's hard to tell where. I mean, it should be. They kind of ended off Part 2 where the book ends, so it should be. But there's going to be some strangeness, different stuff there. I mean, I'm curious, but I have some problems with the way they're going. But I'll talk about that on Sunday. Yeah, and
because they did. Hallmark did both Dune and Dune Messiah as miniseries back in the early 2000s, and it was one of
You mean
what's his name played Xavier?
You mean
played young Charles Xavier?
Oh, you mean the Sci-Fi Channel did Dune and Children of Dune?
I thought it was
It was Dune and Children. They did.
I thought it was Hallmark.
No, it was
Children of Dune.
Sci-Fi.
That's right, not Messiah.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did 2.
One of James McAvoy's early roles.
And of course, late to the party. Hi, Deaf Angel.
How you doing?
We're just about to go off the air.
I know. I heard I heard Snob talking about he's an expert at Dune, so
That's why he jumped in.
Well, I didn't say expert. Sort of an expert.
Yeah, sort of an expert.
Fairly
kind of,
knowledgeable.
yeah.
I tried reading it.
Fairly knowledgeable about
I tried reading it.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
I read it in 8th grade.
Loved it.
I did my book report, 8th grade book report on it, Dune, and then I read
An 8th grade book report on Dune.
Yep.
Well, maybe I should have you on the show.
That's like if someone That's like a kid if a kid that I worked with in middle school came up to me, "Hey, I'm going to do my book report on Homer."
Yeah. Yeah, the teacher looked at me like I had 3 heads and said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Oh yeah, definitely."
But since you're here, what do we have for Bad News Bards this weekend?
This Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, we have the Dungeon Delver himself.
Sunday, 9 p.m.
Yeah, Bill Sylvie's going to be on. He's going to be talking about guac. And I'm sure we'll probably bring up some of the topics in the news today in the past that came out over GaryCon.
Yes, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about
Yeah,
that.
that'll probably come up, I'm sure. He actually did some work with Gary Gygax. And he knows a lot of the original people. So, yeah, I know.
I would love to.
Well,
I'm seeing the insanity that's going on beyond that.
Sorry,
yeah.
What'd you say?
I said I would love to talk to someone from that first generation of Dungeons and Dragons. That would be so freaking cool.
Well, he knows a lot of those guys. He's not too terribly older than I am. But ironically, we never met when I was back in Florida. And he didn't.
Does he live in Florida?
Oh yeah.
I'll have a question.
He and I were both in the same industry, and we frequented some of the same gaming stores and stuff like that. It's a miracle we never ran across each other. Know a lot of the same sites and places and whatnot. So, but that's gonna be fun. He wrote a program called Crom. Yeah. It's I forget. It basically it's a character generation system and a record management.
Does it answer the riddle of steel?
No, it's for like first edition.
That's the Conan joke, because isn't the god Conan worships named Crom?
Oh, well, I was, I'm like, I keep on teasing him. I'm like, yeah, we got to interview Crom. And he's like, and I was teasing him about something on it. I said, yeah. He said, we're talking about tabletop stuff, because that's obviously, we're in the chat. And he says, okay, you have to let me know what's the answer to this. Did Peter ever play any tabletop games? I said, well, no. But from what I understand, his son was into magic and stuff like that. So,
So what I got coming up, not as big as what our other gentleman has brought up, but we got some important stories. Tomorrow, we got Crunchyroll. Even though we got for those of you who have Crunchyroll right now, change your passwords. There was a major data breach overseas, so basically,
there was.
Names, passwords, credit card numbers. I've already done mine already. Besides that's going on, we have a data lawsuit, mass layoffs, and of course, they're at the dialogue changing again. So we have a video on that tomorrow. We'll have the data crisis one coming in the week after. On top of that, we have 2 videos, not one, but 2 videos on physical media. Vinyl has made a big crash. Oh, that's nice.
Really?
Isn't that the cutest, coolest thing you ever did see? My wife ordered that.
Yeah.
Imagine getting up half asleep in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom to take a crap, and grabbing that by mistake. That'd wake you up.
This is a shower curtain and bath mat. So
dear God,
that's cool.
Yeah, these are going down in the.
When nerds have money.
Yes. But speaking of that, so we have two videos on physical media. One is the vinyl hits $1 billion mark last year. So basically, vinyl isn't dead. Also,
Yeah, vinyl's been on a comeback for a couple of years
yeah,
now.
well,
It's
basically,
awesome.
according to the RIAA last year's report, they've hit $1 billion, and it hasn't hit $1 billion since the '80s. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Also, the other half of it, Blu-ray is basically there's a shortage on Blu-ray player recorders, especially in Japan, because Panasonic seems to be one of the only ones left in the business. LG and everybody, Sony and everybody else have been dropping out of the business.
Have you priced a Blu-ray player?
Yeah. Do you see
Like
the
the
prices now?
4K one? Oh
A,
my
Blu
God.
a
Almost
Blu-ray
200 bucks.
player recorder is anywhere between about $1,500 to $2,000 right now.
I had a Blu-ray recorder. I only paid
Excuse me.
$250, I think, for it back in the day.
That's insane. There's only Panasonic right now is the only one that's manufacturing those right now. And the thing about it is, their factories are overloaded with orders. People are buying them up as soon as they hit the shelves.
That's why I can't get Deathstalker on Blu-ray.
Well, no, you can get it on Blu-ray. There are some players within a reasonable price, but if you're looking at a Blu-ray player recorder, yeah, you're gonna be luck out right now. And then one last thing, we're going to be doing another small segment from our little interview with Peter Jurasik. We're going to find out which telepath from Babylon 5 he had a crush with. So stay tuned for that.
It was Bester.
Yeah,
on that.
we just had a thing for Bester.
And next week we haven't decided what we're going to do on the subject matter next week, but I've got notification. Dean will be joining us next Tuesday on whatever subject matter we're going to be working on this week. So stay tuned for that.
I'm working on Troll Lord Games coming on possibly next week. May have to be a special show though. Might have to be in the week because they've got a Kickstarter coming out. Well, I'm sorry, a backer kit. They don't use Kickstarter anymore. They use backer kit. And there's a whole big thing coming up with it's Mega Dungeon Month on backer kit coming up next month. So that's gonna be.
And we're getting closer to a major announcement for the channel. You know, we haven't been doing on Taco Thursdays. We've been doing on Taco Thursday shorts. It's replacement show we're working on. We're working on the last of it right now. Also, we are interviewing people to co-host to that point to lend their voices in the anime manga world. So we'll be working on that, and hopefully we'll be getting some interviews. Hopefully we're working on that as well. But the new show title is coming, so stay tuned for that.
To be announced.
To be announced, and it will have a T-shirt line.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, do I get a T-shirt?
Right. I'll think about it.
You'll think about it. Okay.
I'll think about it. But yeah, we're going to be doing
Still
a whole
waiting for my
promotion
first
for
paycheck
it.
from coming on here.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a whole promotion on it. It's coming. We're still working on the opening on there. The promotion opening for the reveal is coming. So hopefully by mid-April we'll be able to announce this. I don't want to give it a date yet because we've just been running into some technical issues on there. But yeah, it's coming. So be patient.
Yeah.
We're working on it. It's going to be a great show on there. Some of it's going to be live. Some of it's going to be recorded. So it'll be a big mixture on that. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Anybody else have any last words?
Yeah. Just did you know that Chuck Norris never owned a stove, oven, or microwave during his life? Because revenge is a dish best served cold.
Oh, and remember, he was in Star Wars as well. He was the Force.
Jokes, man.
Oh, man.
Love the jokes.
Yeah. So again,
he did too. He was awesome.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget.
And don't forget about all us affiliates too.
Oh, no, that's what I was about to say.
Yes,
look
come
down
help
in the
our
description
channel.
below. You can get the affiliate partner.
I need the hours.
Yeah,
Please.
The affiliates are listed in the description below, so do check them out. Our T-shirt line and merch line is also in there. You could see them, and there's an instant clip. If you like a particular T-shirt that I've put down on there, click on it. You'll go right to the site, and you'll be able to purchase it immediately on there. If you also want to leave a little thanks after this, you can click on, give us a couple bucks for coffee or something like that. You can do that as well. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Laters.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to check out our official merch shop and our amazing affiliate partners. Until next time, mwah!